After a very strong showing against SK Gaming yesterday, Faze Clan looked poised to move on to the grand finals, and they're hoping that history would repeat itself here and still performing at full capacity despite not having the legendary Olafmeister in their roster. Just shows how talented this team is. But ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set, the players are ready to go, so let's go ahead, let's make some noise, let's get hyped up, folks. This matchup's going to be incredible. This is what Counter-Strike is all about. It's now time to start the matchup. It's Faze Clan versus Astralis.
Seats taken around the world, both at home and here on the stage, in the crowd. Everyone prepares themselves for this game. They know they're going to be enjoying themselves, whether it's in the server or enjoying exactly what's going down amongst these two teams. Astralis versus Faze Clan. Mirage will be our first battleground, and this is where I start picking our analysts' minds and understanding exactly what those win conditions are for either side. How does Mirage go their way? And I mean, when you start talking about setups, Yanko, understanding how they're going to interact, how these players are going to meet in the server, is there anything that jumps off the page for you?
I think the main thing is, barring that cash game in Sydney, the rest of it, FaZe won that final on CT sides. They had very strong CT sides, and cash is a predominantly T-sided map, so no surprise there that they got 10 rounds. Mirage is even pretty much, you know, a lot of it depends on the economy. I think for FaZe here, they do need to have a good enough T side. They need to have that good start. I think Astralis does a very good job, similar to Team Liquid, at changing things up on their CT side, having different setups, taking calculated risks, right? And it's more difficult to get a good read against them. So FaZe getting a good start with that pistol will make it more difficult for Astralis to go for those moves, right? Because if you go for it, it doesn't pay off, suddenly you have to eco and you can be down 5-0.
And I mean, previously, Jacob, you spoke about Glaive being the best in-game leader in the world. What is it that he's calling on Mirage that is oh so scary, mixing it up?
He's so good at being the mid-round caller, basically. He's so good at setting up his teams to doing the right thing. Janko said as well, he has a well-working relationship with Sonic, who is the coach. So they set up the team, you know, to success, basically. And then in the rounds, when everything is hectic and when everything is going on, he's so good at picking up the information that is constantly coming in from his teammates to, like, basically deliver the right plan every single time. I've never played with a player that has so much I would say calmness in very tight and pressured situation as he has. It could be like a 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3 where they're shooting duels and all of a sudden he's just, let's go B, like with the most calm voice ever. And that's like, it just affects your teammates so much because you believe in what he's saying. That's such a big part of being an in-game leader. You can have a great in-game leader who's maybe saying stuff, you know, making the right calls, but if you don't believe in him, then it's not going to be as successful as it is if you constantly believe in him.
It fits perfectly with what we previously said about Kerrigan's tenure with the Astralis boys, is there wasn't belief in what he was trying to deliver.
And that was the big problem, right? They stopped to believing in what he was saying, so it didn't work out as well as it probably should have.
And they've embraced Glaive's system entirely, and look how far it's gotten them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's where the consistency comes from, right? They all are on the same page. They work very hard. They're efficient in their practice, and it shows in the official games and on the server. And I think for FaZe, something that's very important, and why Nico has had such a good tournament. You can see that they've, especially in that game versus SK, they moved him around a bit. On overpass, he wasn't going B every round on T side trying to get duels, right? On Mirage, he wasn't going A apps every round. That clutch 1v4, that came from Connector, right? So I think that's why people got used to a little bit what he's doing on some of these maps, and by just sending it to a different part of the map, even if he's not as practiced in it, he's still obviously a very skilled player. He'll know how to hold his own, and that's maybe throwing teams a little bit off guard, that they're expecting something that's simply not coming, and the actual attack is coming from a different place.
And one thing that I want to cover as we get into this one now, the last huddles coming in from the teams, FaZe considering themselves underdogs, do you?
I think they say that they consider themselves underdogs, but I think they actually don't feel like they're the underdog. I think they feel like SK yesterday felt they had the edge over FaZe because of the rivalry and because of the mentality coming into that one. I think FaZe feel like they have the upper hand whenever they play Astralis. Even if objectively Astralis is playing better and they might be the better team and all that, I think FaZe is super confident coming into this one.
I think this is the best we've ever seen Astralis look. Sure, they won the major back in the days when they had Cabby on them with the team, but let's not forget that they were close of going out of the group stages at that major. They were playing against me with Liquid back then, I remember, in the deciding games. So they were very close, between floating around, going to the playoff and not. Now, these days, Astralis is every single game they're coming into it, they're dominating and they're winning big scorelines. It's not a team that is just winning games, they're winning it with dominance, and it's the best Astralis I've ever seen. Obviously, it's going to implode at some point. They can't keep at this level at any times, and it's only going to be a question of time. But as it is right now, I see no signs or no signatures that Astralis is not going to keep on going. This is the best we've seen them in such a long time, and every single player is just stepping up to a whole new level.
No signs of slowing their power level. Well over 9,000 at this point in time. You cannot stop the Danes. It's going to be Faze who try to do so. Your prediction, though, Janko, it is that time.
Hate you so much.
I know. You normally you're like, oh, thank you for not
I told you already, kind of. I was going to go with Astralis before we came here, and then I saw the maps, and I think if they played the same maps, it would actually benefit Astralis because they were all so close. I think they would have been able to adjust. But on different maps now, I think that's where Faze, they always tend to switch things up coming into a game versus Astralis. They might be doing one thing the whole tournament, game versus Astralis, they change it up and it becomes much more difficult. So it's more difficult for Astralis to prepare. That's why I think Faze is going to take this one.
From an analytical point of stand, I wouldn't really say there's anything that tells me Faze is going to be able to...
You've just bigged up Astralis for about 25 minutes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but that's just how the reality is, Alex. They're the best team in the world right now. So
and you're going to be going for the Astralis?
I'm going to go for Astralis. It's the best team right now. There's nothing Faze can do about it.
If I pick, Faze now and they lose, Nico is going to renounce me because every time I pick them to win, they end up losing. And then when I bash them on social media that they're going to get trashed in the grand final, they sweep and lift the trophy. So I said I was always going to predict against them for that. It's a kind of a win-win situation for me. But
so you're technically a bad friend, Janko.
Yeah, I am a very bad friend. Alex can testify.
Yeah, I haven't got any updates on this game going live, so I guess we've got some extra time. Typically,
something that's important to note as well. Faze already played in the arena yesterday, and sometimes having that extra day off is a good thing. You can prepare a bit more and all of that. You can relax. But sometimes it's bad because this is your first game on the stage, right? You're starting off on the CT side of Mirage. That's where you should have the upper hand. And if Faze is feeling, if they come out hotter, having that quick start like we talked about can really make a big difference for them in this first map.
It's final thoughts time, Jacob. We're getting into the game.
Astralis going to take.
Astralis to take it. It sounds like there's a split divided desk. It's a huge game, a huge match of Counter-Strike for everyone here to enjoy. And your casters, no stranger to enjoying themselves. It is going to be Jason and Jordan.
Thank you to the desk. And semifinal number 2 is underway. The winner of this series facing off against Team Liquid in the grand finals tomorrow. But first, we've got to get through this repeat, this treat, this gift we've been given in the semifinals. A rematch already of IEM Sydney Grand Finals just a couple weeks ago, and we're getting live into the pistol round phase. All 5 players with armor, and they've been shut down already. Device, the immediate headshot onto Kerrigan.
That's how you want to start things off if you're Astralis, particularly given the strength that we saw Faze giving us on Mirage yesterday against SK. But there are still plenty of opportunities here for Faze in this pistol round. Rain, well, look, he had a few tries, and eventually one of them pays off, and inevitably he was going to find that frag. So we're back to 4 apiece, but Majors has other ideas as he gets another kill there for Astralis.
Yeah, but this defense can't hold forever. Nico's coming up the ramp, and we know what he's like. He's missed a couple shots on a Glaive, but that's going to force Glaive back into Pre now alone. Somehow they win just barely their individual duels, and Astralis gets that pistol round. Dupree and Glaive, big plays down the stretch.
Yeah, very strange pistol round, all things considered, especially the shenanigans that Rain was showing us there in mid, but then Nico coming around on the wrap, not really being able to get anything done. Obviously a little bit disappointing for FaZe not being able to start things off there, but they are going to buy into this round with the pistol and armor.
Oh, Rain, that was so cheeky. Eventually, it's going to land for him. Nice little burst fire there. It helps out in certain situations. So FaZe going to be on the back foot trying to get into things, but investment into the second round. Everyone but Guardian, really. He's got a P250, but no utility. No utility at the end of him, actually. So the Deagles on Rain and, on Kerrigan and Nico have got to do some work. We know Nico's can ring out pretty well. Kerrigan smoked off in Palace, but it looks like mid-control and straight above. Rain not expecting Dupree, who's just going to fall away. And now Exist has a chance, but Device with a quick rebuttal.
Yeah, Astralis looking really sharp. Obviously, we're only, a round and a half in, but things are looking pretty nice for them so far. FaZe haven't really been able to get anything too impressive going just yet. But, of course, with players of this caliber, it's only a matter of time.
I mean, there's nothing to do here. If you're FaZe, you might as well play this pretty slow, pretty patient. Kerrigan and Nico give him as many chances as possible to find a pick with his deagle. Not a great likelihood of even winning this game. Dupree is going to love taking that fight, but obviously it's the economic damage that you want to get here, and doesn't look like they're going to take too much, especially considering Guardian now has a CZ, but he's got no armor. He's going to go down to Glaive. That's the bomb, and Nico, he gets wiped off. There's actually not a single point of damage dealt by Faze in that round. Nice management from Astralis. A good start here on Mirage.
Yeah, it's really clean from Astralis. They'll be feeling happy with how that's gone. They're starting to warm their way into this, and it was something that Yanko was talking about, how Astralis haven't yet played here on the stage, but starting off on the CT side, things are going nicely, and if they can, slowly and steadily get their way into this half, they'll be starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in 3 or 4 rounds' time.
Astralis is going to have, I mean, this bonus round is so powerful. There's 4 SMGs on the board, and I mean, obviously they're going to push and try and hunt down these kills, at least on one player, because they're going to want to upgrade some of it. Here comes the flash to Pre, a chance to just mow them all down. They're going for a rung boost. They're actually trapped. Nade is out. That could do massive damage. They step in front of it, though, and it's Device who reaps all the rewards.
Well,
all 5 kills, an ace.
It might have been the easiest ace you've ever seen in your life, but you'll be happy with that if you're Device. The grenade did end up doing a little bit of damage, but really, all in all, that's how standard fare is there for Astralis. 3-0 up for them now, and FaZe will get their first buy through. This is where things start to get a little bit more interesting.
This is going to be a bonus round, end-all bonus round with Famas passed over to Magisk. You have Zipnix and Glaive on the SMGs. You have the AWP on Device. Guardian's got his as well on the T side. This is going to be a very fun, exciting battle to watch. Device going for the jump, and actually he got it late. He's being pressured. He's already forced in towards ladder room, already trapped. Very quick mid-control from FaZe. Limited utility. We saw this yesterday. They really picked up the pace, and it's working again here. Nico and Exist open.
Great opening into the A bomb site here for FaZe. There's nobody left on the site right now for Astralis. We've got to remember that Astralis haven't really invested as much into this round as they could have. Device causing some problems still for FaZe, but all in all, now that that bomb has been planted and the post plant is set up, this is going to be not an easy one for Astralis to come back into, particularly given Zipex does only have that SMG. And at the end, if they can't find another frag fairly quickly here, they might just end up giving this up.
Yeah, they just need to concentrate on saving that AWP. Zipex is even going to buddy up to help protect him in case there's any kind of a chase, but FaZe isn't worried about that. They're still in that mode where they need to build up money before they go hunting down weapons, but a blistering pace in that 4th round. Device a little bit slow on that jump over towards Catwalk, and he got put in a really awkward situation. Very uncomfortable for him. And Astralis just couldn't handle it. So many smokes, so much confusion in middle, and FaZe takes advantage of it. So they're on the board very early on despite everything. I think Device there, you can see running to try and pick up an AK-47, which he does succeed and do. Smart play from him to get the extra weapon.
All right, so the full buy this time should come out from Astralis. They have plenty of cash. Everything is going to be in their back pockets here. Plenty of utility. Let's see if FaZe decide to go aggressively again, though. Maybe they just opted to do that, given that they might have suspected Astralis would have a bit of a weaker buy. In the end, they do make it work, and if they default back to that and they can continue to make it work, it's going to be difficult for Astralis to deal with.
Device is challenging that. Look at Guardian, fast pace towards the B bomb site. We've seen AWPers that love to do this, and we saw Guardian yesterday pin bolts, pick them out of the sky a couple times with those jumps. This time, not going to be allowed. Zipnik's going to play that a bit smarter. He falls away, and now we just fall into a default. That was the only aggression FaZe wanted to open with in this round. And we'll see what they choose to go from there.
Yeah, keeping Astralis guessing, not necessarily putting themselves into the similar situation over and over and over again. Obviously, it is only the 2nd gun round, but for FaZe, nice to see them changing things up now, though, starting to get some control into mid. And Glaive, alongside Zipex, will have a little bit of work to be doing.
It's pretty interesting to see Astralis put Glaive at the top of connector. If you think to most other teams, it's usually like a star player. It's usually like one of the best anchors you have. Like if you think Crim's on Fnatic, if you think Nico on the CT side for FaZe, and here we have Glaive, the in-game leader for Astralis, holding that position. Calling for rotations now as Device heads over. Exist and Rain are going to pressure him, and actually 3 players coming up ramp. Guardian's now got the angle. He can hold players pinned down in towards the bomb site, making sure no one peeks from ticket booth. Just still staying quiet in the bomb site, and there he goes, right through the box. Nico and Guardian find him, and Glaive is going to have so much pressure. Device and Zipnix to respond, though, and still Glaive hasn't seen anything. There's Exist to find him, and it's back and forth.
Astralis doing a bit of a better job this time, but it's still back to a 2v2. The bomb is going to go down, and FaZe, now the timer is working in their favor. Nico might just be the big proponent of the successful Faze here, as he does get rid of Dupree. Xyp9x now, we've spoken about him in clutch situations so many times. Well, here's one presented for us and presented for Astralis. The 1v2, he's been spotted out. Carrigan shuts it down. There's absolutely nothing that he can do. And Astralis have to wait for a little bit longer for their next round.
I think they're going to buy again here, though. They're going to see a timeout come out as I think that's going to be Astralis. Yeah, they've lost 2 in a row, and they have a very weird money situation. 3 players can buy. They can even have the AWP. They need to decide exactly what they want to invest in. It's Xyp9x and Glaive who might be left in the cold. Buying here, though, and losing from Astralis would just wipe everything out, though. That could be a very deadly double reset, or actually it'd probably be a single reset with the losing bonus building up the way it is. But this is a good start from Faze. They haven't really been challenged too much for mid control. They've kind of won it with a very fast-paced round in the first gun round. This time they kind of do it a little bit more measured. Still able to take things over, as there was a lean from Astralis towards that B bomb site before the Device rotates back, and here comes that investment.
Well, the question for me is how long is it going to take Astralis to adapt into these rounds? Because from what we've seen so far, Faze, like you said, they haven't really been challenged for mid. How long is it going to take Astralis to try and figure something out there? Are we going to see them go aggressive on the gun rounds? We're going to see Device have a bit more of an impact with the AWP into mid. That's what we're waiting to see. But for Astralis, again, another buy does come out. So an important round for them. Like you've said, if they do drop this one back onto the eco, they don't have a huge amount of utility to work with here, but a 4-stack on the A bomb site.
Guardian got the angle at A ramp, this one right here, and he actually saw 1 or 2 players running over towards connector, called it out to his team, and immediately Rain backed away from any aggression he was having in mid. Didn't want to take that fight quite yet. They're all going to fall back towards A. Faze circling back around the map. This is a very early portion with limited information to make this decision, to make this call. And Guardian, will he lead the way? Will he allow the AK-47s to create the space for him? But here we go. Guardian peeks first and Device wins it out.
It's a really important win for Device, starting things off there. Astralis don't have many counter utilities here, so important that they are able to win those aim kills, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. Xyp9x, he'll get 2, and he gets the headshot across onto Rain as well before going down. It's the perfect start to the round for Astralis, and now all they need to do is make sure that they lock this one out. Rain and Nico have looked so good for Faze, but now it's just Rain with 10 HP left, up against 4. An impossible task, and Device shuts it down. 4 and 2 up now. Astralis, that's an important one that they come back into.
I don't think Faze expected the AWP to be on that defensive side. I don't think they expected Device to have it. He gets 3 kills. That's a well put together round from him. Even Xyp9x calling over the dink onto that 3rd player so Device can finish him off. But yeah, there's not a flashbang, nothing in Device's face to force him off that angle, and he's going to win those kinds of drive peaks very, very frequently. A good display from him, and that actually saves Astralis from having to save themselves. And Faze, it couldn't have gone worse. They don't do any damage to the economy, so Astralis is right back into things.
Yeah, and for Faze, in their own right, their money is actually not too great right now. Nico has got himself the AWP, but he's already lost half of his HP, having a bit of a peek into mid, so that's not worked out the way Faze would have liked it to. And that round, not only a net gain for Astralis, it's a net loss for Faze as far as the economy is concerned. So, a slippery slope now for Faze if they do lose this round back onto an eco. Again, another important one for both of these two teams.
Rain looks like he wants to find a duel at A ramp. There's going to be a run boost in mid. Here we go, Guardian on top of the boxes. Device not in the windows. Going to back away from that. It's pretty silent all across the map as well. Astralis, no great idea of what's coming quite yet. Passive in their positions to find the information before committing, and look at Rain. He's already lurked his way up. He sees the trajectory of that nade, but he's not aware of Glaive. Top of stairs, and that kind of a play does not work. Rain wanted to initiate something. You could tell he wanted to make that play, and it gets shut down. B bomb site has been evacuated for the moment, though. Xyp9x on catwalk. Dupree's rotated over towards window room. Now he's kind of got the idea, the sense of danger coming from these B halls, and so does the rest of Astralis. Everyone rotating over. Device and Dupree on the way.
Yeah, this is so smart from Astralis. They've put themselves in the perfect position. Faze doesn't have time to rotate across to the A bomb site. They have to commit to B right now. Well, there's 15 seconds on the clock. They've decided to back out. They're giving up the round.
That is very awkward, and that is just Astralis outplaying them, not giving up any mistakes, and Faze not having a great idea. It's not too often you see that's a dominant victory for Astralis. And I mean, when you think about how much Faze actually invested into this round, they don't have anything to rebuy nades on any of these players. Guardian's gonna get a flashbang. But Rain's the only one who can have nades. Kerrigan, Nico, and Exist down at about $300 on them. So that's a nightmare. That's actually a disaster. That makes this 2 rounds now where Astralis has a great chance. So miscues from Faze.
Yeah, what a strange round. Now Faze put themselves in an economic hole, really. 3 CZs come out, an AK and an AWP.
I swear to God, if they called off a B rush in the last round with 20 seconds left and then go into this round and execute a B hit, I'm going to be very frustrated.
Well, it's not necessarily a B rush just yet, but it does look like it might be a B hit. Again, it's Guardian having a look for that opening frag, and that's what Faze really needs to get them into this B bomb site. There are still 2 players there for Astralis, as you would expect, but there's, apart from the picks for a Faze, absolutely nothing to get them into any of these bomb sites, into mid or into anything really. They don't have the flashbangs, they don't have smokes.
That's exactly why it's so confusing why they save. They have essentially the very same buy that they had in the last round. So, yeah, back foot. They've used their 1 smoke. They have 1 flashbang on Guardian, so we'll see what they can do with it. All of them in towards mid. Essentially, at this point, you just say, you know, Guardian, take up a position with that AWP. The rest of the CZs are going to watch the angles, cover him, try and let him get that pick. He almost had the chance on towards Glaive. Now they're starting to get a little bit of aggressive and take some map control. It's very far away. Look at Exist. He can actually stop Device from getting in. So this A bomb site is under a lot of danger. No one's in jungle. No one's in window room. Device rotating around, but Nico's opened something up at B. That's going to force Device the other direction. Exist can pick him off. He does the damage, and all the meanwhile, they've walked into the A bomb site. They've gotten it for free, but it's Glaive. He can stop all of this. When does he make his move? They have not cleared him. They haven't cleared him, and Rain has to get off the plant. Into the arms of Magisk, and there's Guardian to pounce. But Magisk needs to do more to hold on for Astralis, and he's doing just that. 3-on-3. They line up for him. Magisk, the double kill. And Nico is down to 1 HP with a chance.
Well, 14 seconds, I'm not sure how much of a chance he's really got here. Magisk coming up again, so massive for Astralis. He's been such a star in recent times, and 4 kills in that round. 4 super impactful kills as well. 5 and 2. It's going to be going up to 6 Astralis. They can thank Magisk for that round. It was really going bottoms up for them, wasn't it? Faze got into that A-bomb site. They got the opening frag. But then that star individual performance, and that's enough to pull Astralis through.
That is so tough for Faze to deal with. That is a very nice setup inside that A-bomb site, and that's the danger. Faze, I mean, they just don't have the weaponry to spread across the map, and yeah, they hit up into that A-bomb site, but they're not able to really clear anything. Magisk at A ramp, waiting for Glaive to take all the attention in the bomb site, and he makes his move. He's been such a good pickup for this Astralis team. They have got to be thanking their lucky stars that he somehow fell into their lap. Although fair play, same for him. He can't be too upset with how things have worked out.
No, you certainly wouldn't be complaining. But Astralis right now, what they're looking for is a title. They missed out in Sydney. By all rights, it was theirs, but Faze was the roadblock, and perhaps they could be again. Nico, once more with the AWP. It's been strange seeing him with the AWP, but he's trying to make things work. Not so this round, though. Obviously, a fairly straightforward one for Astralis. Just the eco out for Faze. Double AWP out now for Astralis as well. So the going gets even tougher.
It really does. They need to start winning right here. Faze is going to be in some trouble. They're going to be in a big hole. Very solid half being put together from Astralis. And you have to remember, you know, that first round, that bye after Faze had already won these 2 rounds was very weak, and they're able to pull it off in a dominant fashion. And it's just no looking back from here. 2 ops. Dupree's got the other one. That's going to be in the B bomb site. Device again aggressive, but it's Glaive to get the kills, and look at all the damage on the Guardian that exists. This is brutal. Device is still holding an angle. He hasn't shied away from the fight at all. Neither has Connector. That's an easy kill, and this defense is wiping out the attack.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit worrisome, or perhaps it already is worrisome right now for Faze, as it just seems like they can't get an opening. They can't make any inroads. And every single round that we see go past, it seems to get easier and easier for Astralis.
We mentioned that Faze hadn't really been fought for mid control. Well, now they've got the fight that they didn't have earlier, and they're winning it. And they're winning it now across the map in every bomb site.
Absolutely. Kerrigan, 1 versus 4. Not able to get anything done there. So another one is up for Astralis.
A little bit of a breather coming in for Faze. Much needed as well. Yes, they're getting run ragged across this map. Faze, you can see everyone below 4,000. They're not even great money. I think what we'll see out of them is maybe a Deagle and CZ investment with the armor. And then we will See Astralis continue to grow this economy. Look at that. That's so much money. So now we have Faze, who have kind of lost success of a lot of their different options. We haven't seen Guardian do too well with the picks. We've seen Faze, run out of time on a map, just strategically so outplayed that they can't move forward, that they can't even make the decision to, at the end of a round, they had to go into the next round with essentially the same half buy, which is pretty brutal. Need someone to start coming alive for you if you're Faze. The offensive side of this map is not going well. 2-8 as we end the timeout.
Yeah, it's such a stark difference to what we saw yesterday between Faze and SK on this map. We had Nico and Rain just absolutely going nuts, and even Guardian was having some really, really good rounds. But everyone's disappeared on the side of Faze. Not a single player really having much of an impact. I guess Nico, 8 and 7. But aside from that, the highest number on Faze is 3.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Kerrigan, Exist, and Rain on 2 kills, Guardian on 3. Just not enough frags even coming out for this Faze side. Even if strategically they were contending with Astralis, which they're not. Not enough kills to make them work. Guardian gonna be the last one to go down. Nicely done from Glaive, and this has been a suffocating hold on this CT side Mirage.
Yeah, goodness me. Looking at the economy that Astralis has started to build up now as well, it just doesn't paint an even prettier picture for Faze. There's so much cash there on the CT side. And just another round where we see not a single gun lost for Astralis. It feels like I'm getting a sense of deja vu here.
Well, we'll see. The first really good buy that we've seen out of Faze in some time, to be quite frank. Guardian's going to have an AWP. We'll see how he wants to battle with that over towards the A bomb site and doesn't connect with the kill. Meanwhile, 4 AK-47s Exist is moving towards Underpass. Glaive is going to be on Catwalk. There's a gap in that smoke that he's peering through, and he sees no information, so passing that on to his team. Outside of Exist and now what it looks like Rain, everyone's pretty much passive on this Faze side. Looks like they want to take a delayed mid-control. Molotov going to slow things down. And this time it's a new-look defense because Astralis isn't going to fight for it. There's not going to be a whole lot of resistance in towards middle.
Well, the push into mid is coming out now for Faze, and Glaive is just hanging around. Gives Exist a little bit of a love tap, but what I like here for Astralis is that they've got Dupree pushed forward in the B apartments. He's got the AWP, watching the line, just making sure that no one's coming in that direction. So there's a lot of information for Astralis off the back of that, but the opening frag has gone the way of Faze. That's something that they haven't had. And another one there for Guardian, so.
There he is. Now he's in the game.
Yeah.
Guardian's back in the room. 2 opening kills, just marching his way up Catwalk deep into the A bomb site. And yeah, it was great to have Dupree pushed up. He had a lot of information, allowed 4 players to play over towards A and middle. But not anymore, not any longer. It's a 3-on-5 for Astralis as they try to recover, but Dupree has got the read.
Zipex goes down in mid as well, so it's just the 2 players on the A side here for Astralis. Glaive needed to find something there if Astralis were going to get any chance in the round. Now it's Dupree in a 1v5, and that is impossible. With 18 seconds on the clock, Faze is going to easily be able to get that bomb down, and now they're just going to try and hunt down that AWP, which they do. Nico gets rid of it. It's not going to hurt the economy too much here for Astralis.
You can see this, I mean, this Faze team is just such a different beast when they start finding some of those opening kills, when they start winning some of those initial duels. And it's really only Guardian and Nico that have provided them that in this game so far. But obviously, once Guardian gets 2 picks for you in middle, it's just, you're going to win this round. You can't even trade properly against Faze because they have too much talent across the entire board. So Astralis need to avoid those at all costs.
Double AWP has been relinquished by Astralis now. So Dupree going back onto the M4. More of a default setup here for Faze again, just splitting across the map. Waiting to see if Astralis is going to try anything, which right now they're not, but Glaive is holding him fairly close to the smoke, and that might have been a little bit of crowd play. Nico, oh! He's going to get the first. He runs out of ammo. So unfortunate for him. That was a double kill for sure, but Glaive, he gets the kill with the USP.
Yeah,
goodness me.
No crowd play on that second kill. That was beautiful. The tap up, that was incredible, and you can see the danger of Nico. Now the danger of Exist. He could get a free kill, but Glaive just narrowly falls down. And Exist is going to just hide in towards Connector. Magis comes up, and he gets the spot. Sprays him down, and now Glaive with one more. He builds upon it. Aggressive with low HP with the AWP. And Rain is currently blocked off by smoke. It's a 2-on-4, but there's only 2 players defending this portion of the map. Rain and Guardian. A little bit of luck goes their way, and they could turn this into a clutch situation. Utility out, Guardian waiting for the response. No one coming through that Molotov, and it's gonna have to be Rain to pick off Glaive over in CT spawn.
Well, it's Rain going to be picking off no one as Magis shuts him down. Guardian, he'll be able to get the first there. Doesn't actually sacrifice too much HP for it, but there's only 20 seconds left on the clock here, so any option of rotating over to B is really not an option. Zipex was there anyway. Good sharp shot out from him. Shuts down another round there for Astralis. What a different round that could have been, though, had Nico had one more shot in that AK.
It's a good point. He's even asking for HP. He knows he had him low, and it was down to into red health, so that's really tough. Just the slimmest of margins. Although he does transfer over to Vice and get a very nice headshot onto a very important player of this Astralis defense. Either way, I mean, Astralis, they had that one round where they were worried about their economy, and ever since then, they haven't had to worry about money the entire time. It's just been a run of the tables. After the 2 rounds initially that Faze won, it's a 7-1 run since then. Dominant stuff. Nico now the only player on Faze in double digits, and this is kind of the team we saw in the IM Sydney group stage that led us to make Faze out to be such huge underdogs against Astralis. I think this is the kind of performance we expected in the grand finals in Australia that we're getting right now, because there's just no one showing. There's not enough players showing up in big enough way to really dent this defense from Astralis. They are so focused in on this half.
Yeah, definitely. And for Faze, I mean, obviously getting that win at IM Sydney was great, but you want to see any sort of a follow-up. It's not happening here, not just yet anyway. There's still a lot of time left in this matchup, but if this first half is anything to go by, we might not have a very long second semi-final. Astralis now starting to make some moves of their own. That's dangerous signs for Faze. Obviously not much left in this half, but if Astralis are going to dictate this game how they have been in the second half as well, Faze will be really not having too much time here on Mirage, which is also their own map pick.
That's a weird way to try and do it. A fake execute over towards the B bomb site. Kerrigan's all alone, and he just goes down, and now the rest of them are getting wiped off the map. No kills. Faze looking lost. They had a game plan coming into it. We liked the way they started out in these gun rounds. Fast pace towards middle. They really solidified their ability to control middle in the follow-up round. But Astralis has adjusted so well, and now it just looks like Faze is lost. This is what Astralis does to pretty much every team they play against.
Yeah, this just... that looked like a nothing round, really, from Faze. Astralis, just everywhere you look, are being able to find the kills, and half the time it's Faze that are either walking through a smoke or looking in the wrong direction. And Astralis are just reading the play so much better. This reminds me of when I was watching Astralis and Fnatic go up against each other at IEM Sydney. It was just an utter demolition. We're getting the same sort of a situation here again.
Yeah, Astralis are pretty cruel like that. You don't get to make a lot of mistakes against them because they make the fewest and all up professional. Look at the damage before they even really get into the bomb site. Guardian down below half. Kerrigan a third of his health. And Astralis know that Faze is in such an awkward money position. They either have to do something desperate like come through a smoke a la Kerrigan, or just with CZ, they believe they can retake this bomb site.
Well, Device, he's going to lose his teammate there, Magus, but still enough players here for Astralis that it's not really too big of a cause for concern. And now Guardian and Nico, again, we must ask them to step up here for Faze. They need that fourth round, but it is not going to be coming. Nico on his own, the Deagle, well, it does present one kill. The AK now in his hands. Can he do it again here for Faze? The answer is no. It almost felt like he was setting himself up for it. How many times we've seen a clutch from Tetris? But not this time. 12-3 at the end of the first half. Astralis, what more could you really want?
You probably could have gone for 15 rounds, but they'll settle for 12. They've had a very nice half and a very good job of preventing Faze from building into this whatsoever. Every time Faze seemed to have an answer, they stopped it in the follow-up round. That is so well done for Faze. I mean, you got to be questioning between these maps. The conversation has to be, all right, guys, like, this is not the time to go missing on an individual level. We had a very good group stage here. We need to be able to build upon it here on the stage against Astralis. And obviously wanting to prove that they can still continue to win titles after Sydney. This is also, I mean, you have to remember, this is also a grudge match. I mean, it's been a long time ago that Kerrigan left this team, but there's still got to be something there for him wanting to beat his old teammates on the stages.
We've seen these teams play against each other quite a lot in the last few months as well. I think they've been playing, what, 4 or 5 series against each other, and it's been backwards and forwards. But now we're starting to, or at least to me, it feels like we're starting to move into another different era, at least as far as these two teams are concerned. Astralis definitely looking good right now. Up 12-3, but we're into the second half now. Faze, they desperately need this pistol round. Starting off nicely with a little bit of damage there onto Zibex, but it's not enough to get the kill. And Nico, he rips the head off Glaive. Dupree is going to chase down Carrigan, though, to trade it back to a 4v4.
That's a big kill from Exist because the B bomb site is pretty much open. Guardian is going to have to get aggressive if he wants to get in. He doesn't count on Magisk. A 3-on-3. The retake going to be tough. There's no kits. 3 players of Faze with armor. They know where Device is. They know he's right outside the window. There's the swing. Exists an immediate headshot, but Dupree off angle combined with Magisk is going to delete all the market retakes, and it's just down to Nico.
Nico again finds himself in a clutch here for Faze. It's a 1-on-2. Definitely doable for him. He wasn't able to clutch out that last round of the last half, but maybe the pistol round is just a little bit more important. So let's see what he can do. The first kill does go his way, but the timer is running out. He just has to get in there and get this kill. He's run out of time. It doesn't matter. He gets the 2 kills, but there's nothing left for him, and he has to give it up. Astralis will go through with the pistol.
It's like a one-man army at the moment. Nico showing off some beautiful shots. 15 and 10 for him. Guardian the next best at 7 and 13. Unfortunately, Nico not able to clutch it out there. We saw a miraculous pistol round clutch from Carrigan, but without the kit, there's just not enough time for Nico to make anything work. Astralis 13-3, a huge pistol round to win, and that kind of, especially if they win this round, that pretty much stamps out a lot of the faith you might have in Faze being able to make a comeback on this CT side. CZ's purchase up for the Faze side of things. Guardian with the scout. Desperation already in round 2 of this second half.
I want to say that Faze have shown me anything that gives me some faith here, but I absolutely am not seeing it right now. Glaive and Dupree are low, but the entries into the A bomb site are good enough that Astralis are not concerned with how this has been playing out in this round, or for this entire map, to be fair.
Look at the HPs. They've gotten so close to a couple of kills that haven't been able to close them out. That could have changed things if some of those initial battles went the way of Faze, but it's not to be. Devon's going to clean up that last one. 14-3, and I think if you're Faze, I mean, yeah, you just had a CZ and Scout by here, but I think you just got to go for it again. I think you just pretty much have to try and win a round with as much of a cushion as possible. If you start thinking you're going to make a comeback at 3-15, that might just be insanity, and why not take a timeout here for Faze? Just to chat, just to see how everyone's feeling.
Not far off getting an extended timeout.
Now, here would be the great thing. Remember, there's that epic timeout that Carrigan took when he was in this Danish lineup against Fnatic on the stage of MLG Columbus. He took a timeout when they're up like 15-2, 15-3. It was a 3-minute timeout. He just wanted to let Fnatic sit there.
Yeah.
What if his old teammates returned the favor? What if they just did that to him?
Do that right now.
I would love that.
I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like Astralis just want to get this one done and dusted. It's not really any sort of attempt from Faze in this map, it doesn't feel like. It's Nico, the only one that's having any impact right now for them, but no one else is showing up. And Astralis are sort of already thinking about relaxing by the pool tonight.
That might be like the one silver lining for Faze is like, if this is this big of a blowout, right, the conversation between maps is just so easy. It's like, all right, guys, one, we have to forget about that match. Like, just wipe it from your memory. And it's easier to do those with the big losses than it is with the close ones because you don't have those rounds that just haunt you.
Yeah, there's no what-ifs.
Yep.
And or perhaps there's too many what-ifs.
And the next one is obviously Nico saying, someone's got to help me out here, boys.
Yeah. Well, Astralis have managed to get their way into the A-bomb side, or sort of. Rain is kind of causing a bit of a problem, but in the end, he is going to go down fairly quickly. Almost had an opportunity to get 2, and then that round could have gotten interesting. But now for Astralis, well, they are losing players across the board. They're managing to trade back. 3 versus 3, still not too bad right now. On that T side, they have the bomb down. Faze. Now things have been put into the coffin as Magisk shuts down 2. And Exist finds himself in a 1v2. Admittedly, Magisk and Glaive are very low on HP, but they've got utility. There's a flashbang to force him back. Still another one available there for Magisk. I'm not so sure that this is doable for Exist. There's not really very much time to play with. He has to give this one up, surely. Doesn't have a defuse kit. And he just wants to save that AK through, but Glaive might just shut that down.
Yeah, he would have loved that. It's basically, it would have been the best weapon they could have possibly had into the next round. 15-3. A pretty scary strategy for Astralis to run on an anti-force by anti-eco. 2 players hitting the A bomb site, including the bomb, or excuse me, 3 players. And then, you know, 1 player faking B and 1 player in middle. Very spread out, not the strongest play with the bomb. And they're fortunate to be able to trade some things out. Rain gets 1 sneaky kill, but If he was able to convert on Glaive, who he actually dinked, that might have been a different story.
Yeah.
Here we are, a chance for Astralis to close out map 1 very quickly in round 19.
Buyout from Faze is not anything particularly stellar. A few UMPs, the Mag 7 out for Rain. And of course the Scout for Carrigan. So nothing that really gives you too much faith here for the CT side. An AWP shot does ring out, but no connection there. So Faze remain unscathed at the moment, but the B bomb site is starting to have some pressure put onto it right now by Astralis. Not committing into it just yet though. The bomb is still in towards T-Apps, and mid now the Expedition for the T side.
Yeah, Astralis is being very cautious in this round. They know that, yeah, they're going to be facing a buy every single round, but this one is going to be stronger than the first two due to the losing bonus building. Nice opening kill from Dupree, but Glaive almost eats it, but perhaps that's just kind of like a nice little example of how this match has played out. Guardian with the battle of Glaive not even looking at him and not able to complete the kill, down to 23 HP. He's going to get into the back lines while Device and Dupree take a more aggressive stance. Now it looks like Astralis have made their choice of where they want to hit. Nice kill from Device. He gets tagged, but he gets the shot with the AWP. Now they have the information of where Guardian is. They have the information of where Exist is, and they're taking them all out.
Yeah, it's going to be a B split here for Astralis, or just a B hit really, as there is no split involved. Device is quite content to sit in mid, and there it is. I mean, it sort of falls by the wayside, but 16-3 is up. Astralis, they close out map 1, and Faze, they need to do some thinking in this coming up break.
It's not the most exciting match in the world, but this Astralis team is terrifyingly beautiful at Counter-Strike. A dominant victory. We'll see if Faze can respond on map 2.
and ESEA.
The AWP in CT, and we know that Guardian tends to be there, so that was the reason for us going for Cash in Sydney. This time we studied them a bit, and yeah, luckily for us, we didn't get to play that much T, so all good.
Yeah, the numbers won't lie. You guys really didn't play much more outside of the 16 rounds you needed. Well, let's look forward a little bit. We do have Inferno coming up, and for the tear that you guys are on, the sort of the path you guys are on right now, are we going to see the same sort of showing?
Yeah, we're going to play our own game. I believe that right now we, with the use of our utility, I think we have a pretty good game plan against any team. Obviously, Carrigan is a really good in-game leader, and I know that he probably studied us a bit. Yeah, I'm going to expect a couple of fake and yeah, double fakes and stuff. So yeah, we're looking forward for Inferno.
Well, how about we do that then? Let's go to Inferno, Dallas. Let's make this happen just about now. Alex, put us there.
That's the plan. Thank you very much. Much love to Zonic for giving us a little bit of extra insights. That is the perfect statement from a team that are just taking over Counter-Strike at the moment. We don't know what our worst map is. I've never heard that before.
What a luxury problem to have to say, like, okay, Guardian is good at playing CT spawn, so we'll just avoid that map entirely. So we just play Cash because we're just equally good.
Yeah,
I've never heard anything like that.
It's not just that he said, you know, they don't really have the weakest map at the moment. It's that the amount of detail that they put into it. We struggle against that to be the reason, and you can just veto it out first thing in a best of 3 is great.
So their map pool is what? It's not. Is it 7? Have they got to that point now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they can play any map. It just depends on the opponent and what they want to let through.
So we haven't really had an opportunity to see that before. We always talked about it in a kind of an idyllic sense, like, oh, that's what everyone's aiming for. And Carrigan said it when he joined FaZe initially, like, we're going to try and get 7 maps. And so now we actually get to see how that affects a team, and it seems to be working wonderfully because you can pick and choose, Jacob. And they did manage to pick to go into, I believe, Inferno. Yeah, let me get that right. So they've had that choice. They've looked at all their options. They can play all 7. They can see what's available. Inferno, their choice. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense to me. I think Astralis is a great Inferno team, and the way they play with their utility, as Sonic said himself, is just unique in a way. Plays into what Janko just said about them going into detail in every single map. He has kind of like re-innovated how to play Inferno and how to use the utility. We saw a statistic from Peter from HLTV saying they did, I think it was 42.5 additional damage every single round with grenades, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
And that's basically just from practice, you know, from having new ideas and re-innovating the game. So playing Inferno against Astralis is never a good idea, and especially if you are seeing flying nades all over the place.
And previously, Janko, you actually you had a really nice breakdown and explained to me what this utility usage is and what it involves and how it affects the enemy team. Could you perhaps, you know, remind everyone at home and here?
I mean, it's a lot of it is related to the CT side, right? Because there's always that fight for banana, and you can always slow the T's down by throwing those nades down mid. And it's a cause and effect, right? You do that, and people take so much damage. So what do? Hey, guys, let's wait 5 seconds. Let's not peek and eat the nades. But what that means is you can push down mid, right? If you force them to play more safe, to be a bit more scared, you can go for some of those more ballsy moves, really. And that's what Astralis does really well. Not that much aggressive moves, but they put that fear into you, and that allows them to make those rotations. You know, they throw the early smokes towards B, and then if Device is left there alone, he always has saved utility to buy time. If he's getting chased out of banana late, he can buy time with a smoke or with an incendiary for his teammate to rotate back to B, and if they go away, they have a 4 stack.
And that's what else. There was another kind of another branch to that tree, which I've heard in the past, Jacob, which is about wasting enemy time. When they're on the CT side, it seems like you've got what 15, 20 seconds after all the smokes and the mollies and the flashes have actually subsided.
Especially on Inferno, right?
Yeah,
it's
it's
such
perfect.
a compact map where you have to go up, either take mid control or take banana control. You need one of those in order to have a well-functioning T side. So it's great that Astralis have found a way to use those nades, and it's going to be a great example for other teams to go in and study. You know, if they want to get good on Inferno, obviously we have to use the same grenades and do the same patterns in Astralis, and then at that point they're probably going to re-innovate the way they play Inferno once again. So they're always one step ahead, and it's going to be interesting for me to see how much study Carrigan actually did and how much out of the FaZe comfort zone Astralis is actually forcing them to be. Because one of the points with what Janko is saying is basically, if you force them to wait those 5 extra 10 seconds, you're already bringing FaZe players out of their comfort zone. If that's not what they normally do, then they have to do that, and all of a sudden think to themselves, well, why are we doing this? This is not our game, you know, and you never want to play the opponent's game.
Well, I hope for our sake, I hope for the crowd's sake that we get a bit more resistance from FaZe Clan. Give some noise for FaZe. You want to have a full 30 rounds? Come on, Dallas. I heard there was some FaZe fans in that crowd. Let them hear you because we're going in. Will this be another Astralis dominance, or will we get a good game of Counter-Strike? It's time to find out with your casters.
Well, that's the question. Are we going to go to a third map or not? Astralis with a chance to end things here and meet up with Team Liquid tomorrow in the grand finals. Or FaZe can delay this a little bit longer and make this a competitive semi-final, but that first map didn't leave you with a lot of hope.
No, certainly not. Having a look across at the stats from that last map as well, everyone on Astralis was positive, and only Nico was positive for FaZe, so it really doesn't paint you a very nice picture if you're on the FaZe side of things there. But Astralis, we'll see whether or not they can close this one out in 2, as FaZe are coming out here on the CT side. Astralis just making their way up towards the A bomb site quite passively at the moment. FaZe having a look into second mid there with Rain, but aside from that, no real aggression out on the CT side.
One smoke, one flash on Glaive. Obviously a plan for that. Looks like they might actually be lining up to crunch towards this A bomb site for the moment, but even just spread out, they can kind of figure out exactly where they're going to want to go on this map. Based on the aggression, if they find any, Dupree might be looking for some information. Not going to see it now, rotating back towards the B bomb site. It's only Nico here. That's a missed smoke. That smoke has gone to nowhere.
I'm not sure where it has gone, actually. Yeah, like you said, it's disappeared. But for now, it's not going to cost Astralis too much. Faze.
It will if they try and get into this bomb site.
Oh, yeah.
Kerrigan's waiting towards CT spawn. That's a pretty deadly crossfire. And now look, they're poised over towards that A bomb site, perhaps knowing Guardian's been gooshed down to 22 HP.
Exist holding the angle right now, but there's no push from Astralis just yet. They're waiting for those players to rotate up through mid, but now the time has come. Out onto the A bomb site goes Astralis. Glaive gets the opening pick, but across the board, it's all Astralis right now, really. Only Exist able to get one, and look at this device. He's already spotted one player crossing now. He just needs to get rid of the second. Nico. Oh, goodness me. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no! It's all gone wrong for Device. He wanted to be a little bit cheeky, and I'll pay that. I think that's fair. In a scenario like this, after you've won the first map that way, Astralis can go for those risky kind of plays when they're up 4v2. He has enough faith in his teammates to close this remaining round out. And if that knife would have come across, it would have just been the perfect start to the map for Astralis.
Yeah, but you could see Papa Zonic shaking his head no, tapping him on the shoulder and just saying it's all right, but let's not ever do that again. That's not the Astralis way. You know they just want to play it safe, play it simple, get the kills and win the rounds. And this is maybe Kerrigan punishing him for a little bit of disrespect almost coming in. Device just missing the timing. Small grin on his face, but either way, Astralis up 1-0. The smoke might have been missed and gone towards nowhere, but the flashbang was certainly very effective towards that A bomb site. The one little small window that allowed Astralis to swing out of Palace and get 2 kills before any kind of response from Faze.
Okay, let's see what the response from Faze is going to be in this round. They have some pistol and armor out for Rain and Exist. The rest of them haven't really invested too much in. Guardian's saving, Kerrigan's saving. Nico's gone for just the deagle there. Device gets a great shot there to start off onto Nico. Good headshot. Exactly what you want to see out from the scout. It leaves the B bomb site very undefended right now from Faze. But Astralis have not taken the opportunity to walk in. There is a smoke down in CT though, so Kerrigan can't really do too much on the rotation there. And Astralis will still be able to get their way into the B bomb site, albeit relatively slowly.
Almost a kill for Kerrigan. All that's left is Guardian, Rain, and Exist. Just save these weapons into the next round. Try it all over again. You'll have 3, so some danger. Dupree is on a small hunt. We'll see where he chooses to go. He can still stop him, but he's got a chance here. They almost look the other way. Rain, he's down to 1 HP. Dupree still hasn't spotted Guardian. He's going to go on the hunt, and is he aware that there's one more player to deal with? He is now. He spotted that, certainly jumping around. He thought that was Rain, but not enough health to continue that fight, and Dupree builds up a lot of money. And this has got to be so scary. Obviously, FaZe can't see this, but Astralis players just smiling and grinning and having a good time, going for knives. I mean, that is not a great thing if you're an opponent.
Just shows you how comfortable our Astralis are coming into this map, and why wouldn't they be? 16-3 on the first map. They just really put FaZe under the pump. It was another demolition in every sense of the word. And up 2-0 now. Astralis, they're already feeling pretty good into the second map. It's a pistol buy. Well, not really a buy. It's just pistols, I should say, out for FaZe. The information now given that there's a stack in mid. Astralis don't even care. They just want to take that fight anyway. Now they're up 3-0. That was a quick round. We'll get into the gun one here for FaZe.
Dupree got 6 kills with the MAC-10 in those 2 rounds. He's got $8,100 before buying. That is pretty scary. That's incredible that he's been able to build up that much money. Doesn't bode well for FaZe, but they are on the CT side, and the tough part for this defense is you've got to get started right away. You can't afford to have this, maybe you win 1 round and then lose it. With the fashion that you lost Mirage, this has to be a pretty clean start to this half.
Yeah. You better be hoping that you can get the gun round out here if you are FaZe. Guardian immediately onto the AWP. That's good news for FaZe. At least they're going to have that impact there. Well, they'll hope to have that impact there at least. No armor though for Guardian, so the job is a little bit more difficult. It's a 3-2 split right now. FaZe playing very, very passive on the B bomb site. No real information there for Banana.
That'll change as this half goes on. We know Nico likes to get up towards that half wall and really control Banana, and we know FaZe likes to take control of it very, very much, so they can rotate Kerrigan back, cheat him towards the A bomb site, but simply put, they just don't have the utility to control it. They didn't want to get into that trade battle of nades and smokes down towards T-mid, T-ramp.
And this might work out really nicely for Astralis. They haven't been forced to use too much utility to get control of Banana, so they still have quite a lot to enter this B bomb site. Now they're not really even going to need it as they just walk their way in. Maj is finding the opening frag, but the bomb is stuck now on the B side. Astralis have to commit, and commit they will. Glaive gets rid of Nico, and that's pretty much the round shut down for Astralis 4v3. And Faze, they need to try and retake on the B bomb site with a distinct lack of utility, a player on 5 HP, and Astralis with a player advantage. It's just impossible.
Yeah, no, they can't think about retaking now. They have to think about retreating and saving these weapons. It's exactly what's happening. Guardian trying to cover the retreat. Dupree is going to be on the hunt. Like we said, he's got so much money. They have the economy to chase down these weapons, and he's going to get Guardian. That's the up. That's important. He knows it's Guardian. Drops the Molotov as well. He can hunt down the rest. And Dupree, he might just find him. Rain has no HP, but the pre-fire isn't going to bail him out. And this is looking the wrong way. Zipnix is going to find him, and that's 4-0, a convincing 4th round.
Couldn't go any worse for Faze, could it? Not only do they just get completely shut out of the round before they even really have a chance to fight, but then they lose all of their guns as well. And Astralis, they haven't taken their foot off the pedal from Mirage.
That's a really nice execute. That smoke and the choke point of the B bomb site usually holds people back, and Astralis goes inside of it. We see some other teams do this as well. It's not unique to Astralis, but Device is inside of the smoke, just staring into the wall. And they do a low. They don't throw the smoke over the wall because that gives up a couple seconds of what's coming. This is more sudden. Nice shot from Nico. Speaking of sudden, that's a very quick clothesline.
Need to see a bit more of that. And not just in the rounds with only the pistols, but the guns as well exist. Nice pop flash for him there. Does get another kill. So Astralis have to start thinking about how they want to navigate the rest of this round. Still a player disadvantage. But toward the B bomb site they go. There's a 3-stack there though from Astralis. This might actually work out.
This is scary if Astralis commits to that. I think that smoke is going to force them back. There's a good kill from Dupree.
That's going to force the other player rotating across as well. Now Carrigan has to have a bit of a peek into the A bomb site. And Astralis have navigated the territory fairly safely.
Well, especially if they see Kerrigan peeking or getting aggressive down mid, they're going to know that A is open. They have plenty of time. They can slow this down. Glaive and Magisk are going to be coming up, and they're going to look both sides. Guardian rotating over. He won't get there in time. Kerrigan's going to be called upon again, and he was clutch yesterday, but he can't do it today. That's going to signal them to move in towards that A bomb site. They'll be comfortable hitting this even if the remaining 2 players are here. And I think Guardian was spotted transitioning over into the site. Dupree's looking for him. Now they definitely know, and it's easy. It's only Nico with that Deagle. Got the opening kill, but hasn't been able to get anything since.
It's easy, you say. Well, that's exactly what it is for Astralis, not just in this round, but this entire series, it seems like. Faze have really presented no challenge at all for Astralis just yet. And I've been saying throughout this series, oh, there's still a chance, there's still time. Time is running out now. We're down 5-0 for Faze. They'll get a buy through next round, but this is not how you want to start off with the second map if you've lost the first.
No, and you're allowing so much money to be built up as well. Astralis is going to be filthy rich.
They already are.
It'll be 5-0. Nico looking for anything he can kind of salvage, and not going to happen. He actually goes up with the bomb as well. And now comes that point where you're going to get the full losing bonus. We're going to get a timeout from Faze, which is a good call. It's a good opportunity for them to stabilize into the rest of this half and fight for a comeback. They have all the money. They're going to get all the nades, they're going to get all the weapons they could possibly want. And all that matters now is that they all are on the same page of how they want to defend. It's going to be a double up setup from Nico and Guardian. Here you're seeing the highlights of the previous round. Astralis coming back from a 3-on-5. Double ops, it's going to be a lot of utility purchased up as well. So they can fight for that banana control now. They can let Guardian kind of go free. But Faze need a pretty dominant win in this.
Yeah. Nico has been fairly keen to get himself on the AWP. We even saw it on Mirage a couple of times. But he needs someone to stand up next to him. Be it Guardian with the second AWP, or I should say the primary AWP. But really, it just needs to be anybody here on Faze. Guardian has a peek into mid, doesn't spot too much out. Now Nico going to try and set himself up here on Banana, but it's just not going to happen, and that's the trademarked HE artillery that we always see from Astralis.
Yeah, this has been a story around Astralis since Sydney, is all the different ways they've found to nade stack different angles, different corners. That one's not some kind of new revelation either, but
yeah,
Obviously very effective, and Kerrigan picks up the AWP, and that's a mistake. It's just a dry peek around the corner. They should know of that possibility, and AWP over towards the B bomb site. Maybe they just didn't expect it on Nico to be there. Kerrigan got it in the back of the bomb site. He's got more to do. Guardian's going to be smoked off. Here's the next step. He peeks out. He grabs one more. That's Device down. Flames in his way, and he takes the shot. Zipnix baits it out, a 2-on-3. I don't think they're aware that Guardian has been over this quickly, but they nade anyways. Here's the plant going down, and Guardian not willing to spam. He knows this needs to be a solid retake. He's going to miss a shot, a critical shot, and that gives the advantage to Astralis.
That very well could be the round now for Astralis. With Guardian missing that shot, it means that it's back to a 2v2, and it would have been so much better if it was a 3v2. Some crossfires available at least for Faze in that case, but now the crossfire rests with Astralis, and this is so deadly indeed. The information is there, and Glaive backstabs both of the Faze players. 6-0 up for Astralis, and that was the best chance for Faze that they had. Still, it doesn't go their way.
That's such a nasty crossfire setup, and Astralis plays these post plants so very well. That miss from Guardian costs them so much. Otherwise, if he stays alive, if he doesn't miss that shot and he's alive, they can't set up like that. Zipnix can't just sit on top of coffins with impunity and not have to worry about anyone coming from behind him. They know where both players are coming. It's the same angle. We got to see it from both views at a certain point. And the point of contact is the same for both players, which makes that so incredibly effective.
Oh!
Jesus, he does it again.
Yeah. Trouble is, all of these nice Deagle shots are in separate rounds, and so you think, okay, that was a nice shot, but you need to see a little bit more of that in the same round if FaZe are going to come away with anything. And it's another grenade kill, another one where Nico is going to be eating it.
Well, he had a chance to get a second.
He did.
All four players for Astralis. Mid and alt mid, taking over A-holes. No one really up banana either, just at the base of it, making sure there's no aggression. It was Device who kind of was able to trade that kill off. On to Nico, find the equalizer. They've also thrown the extra gun away, so they're not letting him have anything. And this almost, I don't think this is going to be a fake. I think Astralis knows this is a low buy, so there's no reason to fake here. But they do have Zipnix and Dupree at the end of these halls, ready to blow up when Device and Glaive get back. Smoke and utility going to be used towards the left side of mid, going to allow Device and Glaive that freedom to work their way up, clearing the close angles, and exists on the site, Rain in the pit. Going to be tough for them to work together.
Tough for them to work together, tough for them to find frags. They don't have the guns really here to work with, just the CZs. Needs to be something magical here for Rain, and he's only able to get one. Dupree shuts him down. Now it's on Exist, and he can't get anything done either. Just a single kill. It's not really enough here to give you much hope, but FaZe in a 2v2, there is still a chance for them, and straight into the bomb site goes Guardian. Glaive answers well. And it's down to just Kerrigan. His position not yet known by Astralis, but as soon as it is, Device rips his head off. And an even more dominant start to the map here on Inferno for Astralis. They find themselves now at 7-0.
One of the things we noticed when Astralis was able to win Marseille is how good of a tournament Glaive had, and when Glaive's having a very good series or a very good tournament, this is a tough team to beat. You'd normally say, at least in terms of fragging, he might be the quote-unquote weak link. Well, he's having another good series here. He's 10-0 on Inferno. On Mirage, he was stellar. He had 112 ADR, led for his team, and he was 19-8, so he's putting together a good performance. Obviously, Magisk as well is up there, and everyone really contributing when called upon, but if you're FaZe, you got to be worried when all 5 players are delivering.
Yeah. And that was really the win condition for FaZe, is just to have their players deliver. We're not seeing that today. Astralis is doing a great job of just shutting them down at every opportunity. Now again, a bit of a split up across the map here for Astralis. Fairly straightforward, fairly default. They just find the openings everywhere.
Almost comes out of nowhere. And I mean, not just the opening kill, but look at Nico and Guardian. Nico's at 16 HP. He can barely afford to get in a fight with that M4. Guardian can't afford to miss or misposition himself, and Device is going to challenge. That is a good find from Kerrigan. Device maybe being overconfident, but they were willing to risk the one player, and they've actually pulled Rain over towards the B bomb site, so it's going to be all on Guardian. It's no longer about just hitting the individual shots. It's where do you position yourself afterwards to get a follow-up, and he's going to get aggressive. He wants to find it. The no-scope isn't there. Not even aware that Dupree was in that position. far too advanced for him, and that might just be the round. It's a 4-on-3, and yeah, Faze is already calling for the save. The HP is just too low on Nico.
It's the exact same thing we saw with that B-bomb site take from Astralis earlier on in this half. As soon as they get into the site, Faze has no real option but to try and save. Astralis here, they can go for the hunt. They've got a lot of cash to play with. Faze doesn't have too much at all, but really at the end of the day, what difference does it make if Faze have got guns or if they don't? At this point, it seems like Astralis doesn't care.
No, this is easy looking for Astralis. And I mean, yeah, you can say on one side this is a good call from Faze to save these weapons, but they don't have the luxury of making this kind of a call many more times. Astralis now is up 8-0. And if you're Faze, you simply need the rounds, and you can't just say, okay, we need these guns for the next one. You have to just go try and win at some point. Arrogant's gonna get one kill. He's traded immediately. Another weapon taken away. Nico and Rain still in danger of losing their guns. It's not gonna happen. But Astralis is putting on a clinic here in Dallas.
Absolutely. Okay, 8-0. Faze, what do you have for us? Is it going to be Faze just bowing out of this tournament with absolutely nothing in the semi-final?
That ADR on Dupree is godlike.
Impressive
145. He's 15-2. Glaive still has not died yet in this game.
Aggression from Faze into Banana, but out of the frying pan into the fire is Nico as he goes down to the Molotov of Device.
And that just smacks of desperation. Now it feels like, I mean, Astralis is making Faze, some of the best players in the world, look a little bit silly with that kind of a push. They have the answer for everything. Zipnix has control of Halls already as well. Dupree's going to join up with them. The bomb is over there as well, so they're not going to commit to this B bomb site. But if they can push forward and take out Kerrigan, they would force a rotation from Faze, who's being pretty stubborn and keeping 3 players at the A bomb site. It's a good call for the moment, as we can see. But Astralis, with the man advantage, they have the possibility of applying pressure onto the B bomb site without committing.
It's all on Guardian here. If he can find that opening frag, maybe Rain can swing out and get the trade. In the end, Rain just goes down, or actually, he gets the kill before going down, but regardless, Zipex has done a great job of entering the site there for Astralis. All in all, you look across the map, there's kills for Astralis and not much for Faze at all. Device, even on the B-bomb site, got the kill over there as well. So on all sides of the map, it's working out for Astralis. And up 9-0, I feel like a broken record, but it's just one more for Astralis.
Well, you got to admire the way they're doing it as well. The nade on towards Rain, and then a flashbang comes in, and it blinds the player boosted up, who's supposed to be the one taking contact from Boiler, who's helping Rain out, cover that angle. But that flashbang blinds him perfectly, so he's forced away. And then Rain is isolated, gets dropped, and even finds the follow-up is Zipnix as he anticipates that peak, and Device is able to pick off Kerrigan over towards the B bomb site. A perfect location for him to catch Kerrigan trying to rotate over towards A. So strategically, Astralis is just in destruction mode. I don't even know else how to describe it. I feel like I've used every adjective in my...
Yeah. It gets like that, doesn't it? Time to bring out the Thesaurus. Faze, time to bring anything out. The strat book, the whiteboard. What have you got? Not a whole lot, at least as far as the guns are concerned. CZ's armor, Deagle there for Nico, and he's been hitting a couple of nice shots with it, admittedly, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here for Faze. Already a huge chunk of damage out from a grenade there from Astralis. Kerrigan down to very low HP, but still able to utilize that CZ in his hands, so making things a little bit interesting indeed.
There we go.
That's a little bit more what we need.
Well, this happened earlier. Astralis was able to come back in a 3-on-5 situation, and we'll see if they can do it again. Opening kill from Dupree, and Boiler, he's going to come back to help, and no chance exists, gets away. Bomb is still down on T-ramp, but Rain is all alone. Nico rotating over towards this A bomb site to help him out, but he's going to get aggressive. He doesn't want to stay passive. Rain's going to go hunting for somebody, and does he wrap around onto Dupree? Yes, he's going to come here. There's no idea this is happening. This is going to be a free kill. Rain's going to get it, 2-tap. Picks up the AK, and Zipnix has to retrieve the bomb, and all they have left is a hit towards the B bomb site, but they're going to be fine with that. It's only Kerrigan here, and even though he's the only one without a rifle on this CT side, he's only got the Deagle and 2 kills.
He actually picked up the rifle, but he's thrown it over to Nico, and in the end, it might have been a little bit more useful here in his hands. Now he's got the Deagle, but he has 2 players to find, and Kerrigan needs to stand up here once more for Faze. Astralis just being very methodical as they enter this B bomb site, not leaving anything to chance. And again, that might just be the round over, despite the fact that Faze have fought so hard here in this forced buy. They're now in a 2v2. The post plan is down. Nico doesn't even have any armor here for Faze. And Astralis have set themselves up again with a crossfire. The information there for Glaive, but the kill is there for Rain, and now it's on to Zipex, 1 versus 2. Let's see if Faze can finally get around, and yes, they can.
A little bit of hope. The first one is the hardest, they say. Maybe a peek from Glaive that wasn't exactly needed, feeling confident at a 9-0 scoreline, but a nice recovery for Faze in this. A good shot from Nico on the trade, but initially it's all Kerrigan who does the work.
Magical CZ, that's what it is.
Seen a lot of highlight clips of Kerrigan getting hyped for his team when they win rounds, and same with Nico. And obviously, I don't think you obviously don't get too excited when you're down 0-9 and win that first round.
No, that would be a little bit extreme. Although perhaps that's what Faze needs. A little bit of hype, a little bit of excitement. They need to get into this game.
0 kills on Guardian. He finally has the AWP in his hands again, but that is not a great start for him.
Well, you can say that again.
He only had 7 on Mirage in total, so 7 kills across 2 maps for one of the best players, best AWPers in the game. And you can kind of tell maybe why Faze is struggling.
Well, no kills for him this round either, and Dupree, oh, he's putting on a masterclass. All 3 go down, and the A-bomb site is immediately opened up. Astralis, they can't do any wrong, can they?
That's so sick from Dupree. He's been so good, and now even Kerrigan getting lured in, and Nico has got to be so confused. This Faze mentally is already out of the server device. He's going to hold the angle. He's going to go for the peek. Nice shot from Nico. He might as well just go for this. Why not? Go for another highlight reel. Try and keep your team in it. It's a desperate scenario, and he can't find Glaive around the edge of the smoke.
So much hope there for Faze after getting the first round, but it's immediately dashed by Astralis. Look at how happy they are. This is a walk in the park.
Dupree doesn't even know how he got the triple. He's just like, yeah, all right, I'll take it. I'll take all those headshots. And that's the nightmarish reset for Faze. Yeah. Look at this, coming out of Boiler. He's been doing this so long. Good headshot on the Guardian with that ADP. Still stuck on 0 kills, but the follow-ups as well. So much pressure on Rain and Exist, those defenders, to really stay poised there and hold it, but they're flushed out of their cover once the op goes down, and Dupree takes advantage.
A bit of an interesting reaction there from Nico as well. Anyway, we've got the AWP here from Nico. He had a bit of cash after that last round. He's fully invested in to this one just to get his money back in line with the rest of his teammates. Maybe he can make a difference here with the AWP. Oh, perhaps he definitely can. 2 kills there for Nico. Is it going to be enough, though? We've already seen a few rounds where FaZe have got the 2 opening frags, and Astralis have been able to bring it back even despite the deficit. But that's how you come away with a round victory in a round like this. Rain on the push as well. The aggression with the CZ will net him an AK. All of a sudden, it looks doable here for FaZe. But Astralis, they're still in it.
Yeah, they've got plenty of time. They have 1 minute to find the solution here. Kerrigan now has an M4 pushing towards the base of Banana. Glaive is aware of the possibility, watching for it, so Kerrigan hits pause. Zipnik still holding over on Rap side. He's hoping somebody, Rain or Exist, rotates into his crosshair, trying to support that B bomb site. He's just lurking. And again, they have the time for it. They can apply the pressure just based off how much is left. Glaive gonna turn the corner. He can't get the kill onto Exist. That is a big frag. That's also the bomb down, so Zipnix has to move out of his position. That should spell the end for Astralis in this round.
Yeah, there's not really too much time here for him to work with, so he has to start to get a bit of a wriggle on. Doesn't even seem like he's too interested in going for this one. Try and do some damage to that economy. Make sure that FaZe can't pick up any of those guns. 10 seconds on the clock. He spots the player out in pit. If he gets the kill there, he might have been able to plant, but even still, Kerrigan was on the rotation quite quickly. I think he would have denied the bomb anyway. So another one goes the way of FaZe. And they do save 2 guns through. But for Astralis, they had so much cash built up anyway that they can full buy into this one again. And the opportunity once more for a reset.
Nice job from Nico. They're just not expecting the AWP to be out, and actually Device, he's a little bit late on that peek to try and get the trade. Allowed Nico to get back in towards cover, but still with a chance to find the equalizer. Molotov's utility used towards Banana. Nico and Kerrigan going to be held back. They haven't been able to get that Banana hold, the grip on this part of the map that they've wanted that we've seen them get in the past. Astralis has done a very good job of preventing comfort at this side of the map for the defense. So many smokes used in Banana. I think there's been 4 or 5 total. One towards mid. And now that they're clearing, we can see Device and Nico might get into another engagement. Nico's brought down to 54. No nades left on him. No nades left on Kerrigan. The B bomb site is going to be very susceptible in the late round.
Clave's going to be having a look through this smoke in just a second. He gets the timing right. Faze have fallen off, but in the meanwhile, they've lost Dupree. And Astralis slow things down. Now they decide to leave.
Yeah, deep smoke also that usually indicates a B split coming in, but instead all 4 players just going to fall back towards Banana. You can see Rain and Guardian both in Library, considering the fact that they're going to be pressured from CT spawn, a little bit shy to move out until both get there. Now they double peek it and they realize it's clear. Guardian's going to stay here. One of them is certainly going to rotate towards this B bomb site, but at the moment they're making sure that Rap side is not going to be under attack. That'll leave Nico exposed. He's boosted up. He's got a good angle. Do they clear it? Yes, they double peek, and there's Kerrigan. He's out in the open. He's only got a small pillar for cover, and Magis certainly is going to flush him out eventually. There it is. Plant's going to go down, and we have a 3-on-3.
Glaive goes through the smoke there and has a look into CT. Doesn't spot too much out, so maybe Faze aren't going to necessarily have too many problems, as they don't, or Astralis are not aware that they're so close, and that results in Rain getting a free kill early on in that retake. Glaive, though, he's coming up with the goods. Just 2, though. Device now finds himself in a 1v1. Exist has a bead on him. He's definitely spotted him out. They've both seen each other, and now it just comes down to who can hit the shot first. Exist gets a big one across, and Device, oh, he gets the headshot. Oh, no. It was so close for Faze, and it seemed Exist was playing it perfectly. But in the end, all you need with the AK is that one shot.
It had to be an instant headshot as well. Device was running low on HP, and Exist had everything. He had the kit as well. 2-11. Guardian still killless in this game. 0-13. And Astralis now just piling on. Again, FaZe is not allowed to string 2 rounds together. It's an immediate reset, an immediate response. Previously, it was an AWP and Deagles and CZs. Now it's a Scout and CZs and a Deagle. So looking dire for FaZe, but at this point, you just need the rounds. You have to buy whatever you can.
Well, it's a very grim story for FaZe so far. 16-3, map 1. Map 2 heading in a very, very similar direction. And Guardian without a single kill so far. And in this tournament, we've been talking about how he might be the best AWPer in the world, the most consistent, the strongest. Certainly not in this map. This really does raise some questions about the FaZe roster again. It seemed like they were coming back into things just a little bit after IEM Sydney. But once again, Astralis is showing their strength.
Pretty spots out Exist. He's had a couple battles in these A-holes, especially on the save or force buys from FaZe. Pretty consistently, though, him and Xyp9x have gotten really solid control of this. Once again, they have it. As FaZe falls back, Device pressuring towards the B-bomb site, and that's it. They leave him there just to cause noise, to keep Nico and Kerrigan both over at B. Now he's going to hustle back as they have a smoke down left side mid, and the tough part for FaZe is with pistols, you can't really cheat anyone over. You feel really hesitant to do it. They're just going to walk right through the smoke. Rain's going to get away around the corner. He's got the scout. He's going to be locked out. Blind shots through, don't connect. Guardian's got to push forward into the arms of Xyp9x. There's one more in pit to find. That's Exist. There's a Rain with the scout with a nice headshot, and Exist still living, but he knows they're coming from above, and he can't find that kill. And
Rain,
the scout can do no more.
Rain's just trying to go for some pot shots here, but it's not going to happen for him. Astralis easily able to get their way into the bomb site. Kerrigan, he's looked good with the CZ. That's at least something here on Inferno, but needs to do it with the AK. And there's Xyp9x going down early on. Gives a little bit of time here for the CTs to work with. But Nico, he doesn't know there's a player so close. He's going to be punished. A lot of damage goes his way. Glaive gets rid of Kerrigan in the meanwhile. Now it's just onto Nico with the Deagle. He's got 3 shots, gets the first across there onto Glaive. Now he can find the AK. It's possible here for NiKo. It's doable, but not very long. And in fact, he's pushed back and it's impossible. Despite the fact that he gets the kill, he just ran out of time. He didn't even have a kit.
Even if he went through the Molotov and got the kill, I don't think he would have been able to defuse.
Yeah.
So he just kind of gives it up, takes the AK-47, gets the kill to make himself feel a little bit better about it. I think that crowd response is that there shall be no more dabs inside of this theater.
Sydney was much better, guys.
Careful with that. We're not quite there yet. Oh, 12-2. Astralis forging their path to the grand finals. And remember, they played Liquid earlier in the event, and it was equally just a beatdown. Here we go, aggression down mid. Faze decided to throw the Hail Mary right at the end of the half, and it goes pretty much the same as all the other things they've done.
I guess if you're Faze, you got to try and throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. It's not stuck this time. Astralis easily make their way into the A site. This is 13-2. Unless something magical happens, which it doesn't. So, end of the first half for Astralis. And they have a lot of rounds to play with. I think that's an understatement, but they're definitely happy with how things have gone. They're already starting to think about that grand final against Liquid.
Dupree is 20-7, Glaive 18-4. Kept track of it down the stretch there, and feels bad highlighting it once more, but Guardian 0-15 on the half.
Yeah, that's just... I don't remember the last time we ever saw a performance like that from Guardian, let alone from anyone at this level of Counter-Strike.
See it a couple times, usually not 0.
Well, that's it, right?
But I mean, you can also say this, it's hard to recall a time that, you know, Astralis, we talked about it for a couple of events now, this is the best looking team quite clearly in the professional scene, and that is just dominance from start to finish, and Astralis here just closing in the pistol round would certainly do it for them. I mean, there's no chance for FaZe if they can't win this T-side pistol.
Well, that's where they need to start. And the pistols were good for FaZe yesterday against SK. Haven't necessarily been so good here against Astralis. Zipex is having a look down Banana. He spots the info earlier. The smoke does come out from Glaive, but Glaive's only able to get one there. And Rain runs over Zipex as well. Astralis, they've lost control of the B-bomb site, but there are still players here for them to try and retake. Not sure where the kid is. Glaive must have had it.
Yeah, and Rain, he's got a lot of pressure put on him. He's trying to hold the angle, but here it comes. Double peek, the burst fire. Maybe not the best decision. We've seen it mess up. Good headshot from Device. A follow-up.
Oh, no.
And Astralis just continues to be overwhelming.
How on earth does that happen?
They're so patient in the way they attack different choke points. I mean, you can see, obviously, they're pressuring Rain. And when Rain has that kind of pressure, obviously, it prompts his teammate to kind of peek into them to try and bail him out of a tough spot. And Device is just waiting, holding the angles and getting immediate kills. 14-2, and that might have been the last gasp.
Yeah, it was definitely a dying breath from FaZe. They're going to force us into this round. They did get the bomb down, so they can afford a couple of AKs here. But it means that also a couple of their players aren't going to have armor. So we've got an AK in the hands of Guardian and an AK in the hands of Carrigan. Now, at this point, I'm not so sure why Guardian is carrying that AK and not NiKo. Admittedly, NiKo doesn't have the armor, but... Well, okay, there we go. Guardian's finally got his first kill.
He's on the board, and he's laughing, and it brings back memories of Rain over in Sydney.
Exactly what I was thinking. And I guess they put the AK in his hands for a reason, so let's see if he can prove why that is. This is a must-win round now for FaZe, and they've opened up the right way. But Astralis still look so deadly.
Well, still some utility on the Astralis side. Glaive is holding down BO on his own, and he's actually towards CT spawn. If the utility comes in, he'll get blocked off. I imagine he's going to call Dupree back pretty soon to the B bomb site so Glaive can transition into the site, but it's got to come fast. I mean, FaZe is marching up, and there's actually no smoke on them whatsoever. This could be dangerous. There's the flashbang, there's the peek from Glaive, but it's not going down. Kerrigan's gonna peek, he's gonna lose that duel, so does Rain. Double kill, Dupree is here now, and they have to get the bomb. They forgot it, they've gone back for it. Thankfully, Exist gets the kill on Dupree, and Guardian, his second frag is a big one onto Glaive.
Starting to look a little bit better now for FaZe, but it is still winnable for Astralis. This kill needs to go their way, and Device He answers the call well. And Nico trying to hold off. A great shot hit with the Deagle. And all onto Magis now in the 1v2. The bomb now down as well for Faze. And then, oh my God, Magis! It just can't go right for Faze every single time. They try, they try, they try, and yet they fail.
That's a pretty dirty transfer from Magisk, and he's loving it. There's Guardians first as the smoke plumes. Glaive with the hold. That was huge. Just one small piece of utility missing, and Magisk obviously to seal the round. 14-2. Nico, nice deal shot, but can't complete anything. And even the coach cheering, and look at the happiness. Sometimes you just got to find a little bit of happiness in life.
You got to cheer about it at the end of the, like, you know, you got to own it. I think
it's if you don't laugh, you cry, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure how much laughing Faze is going to be doing in about 5 minutes' time, because it does look like Astralis are prepared to close this one out 16-2. They've got as good of a buy-through as they can get, so too does Faze. But look at this, Glaive with the shotgun. He can't get anything done. Zipex is there, though, with a UMP, and he'll be dropped as well. Not too bad of an entry there, actually, from Faze.
It blew the gun away. Nico's trying to pick up a rifle, and the grenade has taken it out of his hands. But fortunately, Kerrigan's able to find the kill. He's on the wrong side of this passageway, but Magis can't land that one. And he might just save this M4. There's not a lot of money on the Astralis side, and although Faze goes for the old-fashioned classic B-rush at 2-15, Astralis still playing for the throat.
Yeah. Could have really been a little bit exciting had Glaive gotten things happening with the shotgun there, but it was not to be. So, sigh of relief perhaps for Faze. They're hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Bomb will go off, and that puts 3 up for Faze. It's what they managed to get on map 1. So, another round would mean they've at least done one better. Well, that's very, very small consolation at this point. Looking to come back into it for Faze. They need 12 rounds to at least get overtime.
That's got to be the most depressing thing to think about. And you do, 12 just to get to OT, not even to win. We'll see what happens. Magisk has the M4. There are CZs bought up by the Astralis side utility as well. And I mean, the scary thing for Astralis is they're so good on these rounds when they can use these smokes to delay and choke points. But Faze wants to challenge early. They spot one. Dupree hasn't peeked yet, not from the cubby. They're chasing down Device. There's a free kill. Guardian going hunting, overextending. Magisk in the pit with the one rifle, but Kerrigan takes it out. Now out in the open, he doubles him up. That flashbang does just enough. I think it was a team flash even. And Kerrigan wants more.
Well, he's not going to get it.
Yeah.
Exists, or rather Zipex shots him down. Oh, I thought for a moment it was going to get a little bit scary, but still the frags come through for Faze.
You can tell what's happened in this Faze team at this point, where they've all just kind of said, listen boys, we've lost this one. Let's have some fun. Let's just play some individual style. Let's just be highly aggressive and just have a good time with the last few rounds of this map, of this series. Oh, everyone chuckling, and Kerrigan having a good time. So 4-15, and it's just pistols on the Astralis side. Nade stack coming in, though, it looks like. 3 down mid, perhaps, and here it comes. Does it do any damage? Yes, Guardian's brought down to 9, but not the kill.
It looks very scary, actually. Faze, they just completely barreled in there, and typically that's how the grenade stack does work. If the T's just decide to run straight in, you get the timing right, and you end up getting quite a lot of damage out of it, which is what Faze have kind of found themselves with. Obviously, pistols are out for Astralis, and having Guardian on 9 HP does soften the target a little bit, or quite significantly.
Well, no more utility for Astralis for over a minute, so they can't delay any longer. They've got to make a play somehow. Glaive tries to spray him down through the smoke, and actually this forces Faze forward. Not being tactical, just going for the brute force style. There's the boost up. Zipnix misses the opportunity, and the double peek doesn't work out. They're going to continue forward. Still 2 players here. Zipnix gets one. Going to lure him into Device. No peek still. He's biding his time. And here comes the peek. He's going to get Rain. He wants that AK, but it's been taken too far away from him. The headshot. Now he's got the AK. Device is going to do it. He might just end things here. You can feel it coming. And Device, though, goes passive, and Guardian's able to get the angle.
Still doable right now, though, for Magisk. He needs that kill. And Exist will shut it down. Oh my goodness. That was too close for comfort for Faze. Device very well had the map in his hands there. Couldn't quite get the job done. So Faze, they survive another 5 to 15. How many times am I going to say that?
Well, maybe 10 more.
Well, that'll be some good news for Faze.
And finally, we're going to get pretty much a save out of the Astralis side. They've had so many rounds to play with. You can kind of afford to just throw CZs and armor and throw force buys at the situation and hope you're going to come out on top eventually. That was very close, but now they just have the pistols with no armor. Next round is going to be a very strong buy. Kerrigan, Guardian, and Rain about the pressure up middle, and actually this Astralis stack that was underneath the porch is now giving it up. They don't want to mess with that fight.
Yeah, given how difficult it has been for Faze to find the victories, even on these anti-force buys, it really does still just feel like a matter of time before Astralis ends up closing one of these rounds out. It could well be the next round when those guns do appear in their hands. At least for this one, Faze should be able to get another one on the board. Dupree and Device setting themselves up on the bomb site. Not going to get anything done there. Dupree remains unspotted, so he'll at least get a cheeky frag, but that's the round for Faze. Now is where they need to really start working for it, though. The guns are going to come out for Astralis.
Device has that AWP. Kerrigan's got one as well. Maybe Guardian not in the mood to use it. Plenty of utility, a couple kits on the CT side. Let's see what FaZe has in store for this round. It has been, you know, a faster tempo than we're used to seeing on Inferno. A bit more loose, obviously, for good reason. 3 players towards Banana for Astralis, and this is just a straight-up mid-hit. They're just bombing utility. Dupree's not blind whatsoever. There's a double kill. That's the bomb down. Magisk is going to sneak back into the bomb site through the smoke, and he's being pressured, but in pit, he has safety.
That's a really good move from Magisk as well. Buys the time for his teammates to rotate across. If he stays and tries to take that fight, maybe he shuts the game down for Astralis, but maybe not. And then FaZe can come barreling into the A bomb site. This was the safer decision. And now FaZe has some thinking to do. They know that Astralis have had the time to rotate across. And there's now 2 players in that bomb site. Rain takes a big chunk of damage off that grenade, and the timing, the flashbang is so good. Glaive gets rid of Nico, and all of a sudden the job gets even more difficult for FaZe.
Looks like they're going to have Rain with low HP post up in the halls, and Kerrigan go to the B bomb site for a pick. And if he gets that kill, actually no, he doesn't even go for that. He just falls away looking for the aggression, looking for a push, and now he's got to find one coming into this bomb site. He's got Glaive on the left, but it's all down to timing. When does Glaive peak? Here it is, here it comes, a free kill, and Rain, certainly this is it, it's over. Magisk, who better to end it? The new addition to Astralis. A phenomenal series, a comprehensive victory from the Danes, and they're going to make it to the ESL Pro League Grand Finals.
If that's not a statement, I don't know what is. Liquid standing up against Astralis next, I guess tomorrow, but if I'm Liquid, I'm feeling a little bit scared about how this matchup could play out, because that was a very, very dominant display from Astralis.
Yeah, you're probably shaking a little bit in your shoes. That's got to be a scary prospect. This Astralis team looking very, very good, and that was so much different from the IEM Sydney Grand Finals. Dominance from Astralis. Let's hear from the desk.
Our job at the desk is to analyze, is to deconstruct, is to explain, but this is inexplicable. Astralis do seem to have completely got the firmest of grasps on Counter-Strike. They've taken this game by storm, and no one seems to be able to stand in their way. It doesn't even matter if you go cherry-picking for all the very best the world can offer in Counter-Strike talent. They nearly get 16-3'd. I mean, that was a little bit of a last dying whisper, a last stand from FaZe, but a dominance that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Yes, indeed, Alex, reporting here live from day 1 of ESL Pro League Finals. Astralis win their opening game of the tournament versus Sharks. It was so cool. You wouldn't believe that this was a semi-final game and they were playing against FaZe, how dominant they were. I mean, they made FaZe look like a below-average team. They didn't even stand a chance at that game for any single moment.
No, absolutely. There we go. Jacob, what have you got for me? Astralis absolutely wrecking ball through them.
They're the best team in the world right now. They're playing the most fundamental, strong Counter-Strike, and the individuals of this team is stepping up to a new level as well. We see Dupree all of a sudden, you know, coming out of a, wouldn't say slump, but, you know, he's been widely considered as one of the best players in Denmark for quite some time, but never really managed to break it through where you can consider him as one of the best in the entire world. But now he's all of a sudden showing a level that we haven't really seen from him before. So it's just an Astralis who is taking this Counter-Strike scene to a new level where everyone else is just falling out.
I really, really liked a tweet actually from Duncan. He just put one out saying, oh, let me get it. I'm going to go get it verbatim, but it is a really nice summary. It says, when